So this line that I have up here marks where Bitcoin's previous all-time high was. That's the all-time high it hit last bull run. Now, why am I excited about that as it relates to Cardano? Well, because the altcoins always have this lag. So Bitcoin is the first mover. It's the one that's rising. It's the one that's paving and leading the way first. And most investors, the majority of investors out there in the traditional market, the legacy system, big institutions, where they're putting their money first? Bitcoin, right? They're putting their money in the Bitcoin. In the US, the spot ETF for Bitcoin just came out, so the money is going to Bitcoin first. And then what happens in my experience is that a lot of that money then moves into altcoins a little after. What's very exciting about Cardano's chart for me right now is that as we are seeing this massive weekly candle go up in Bitcoin right here, right? We are looking at just, it's knocking at the door of the previous all-time high. It could also be the case that Bitcoin goes towards that all-time high, knocks on the door, touches it, and actually breaches it forward with a little bit of momentum, with a little bit of exuberance, right? It could have the opposite effect where negative sentiment sometimes turns into bullish sentiment when most of the crowd thinks that things are going to go one way. In fact, it goes another way. And so that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it goes up in that direction. So we have no idea, right? We'll just keep our eye on it. We're here tracking all of this live for you in real time. And all the OG members and inner circle group members get notifications when major moves are happening, as well as news in the crypto world that is relevant to the overall growth of the space. Okay, so don't worry. We got that backbreaking work covered for you here in real time. Now, back to why this is exciting for the Cardano community. When a token is on its initial bull phase, and you can remember that our targets are well over here. Okay, our targets are over here coming in 2025. So we still have time. But what happens when a token begins to press and change its structure from bearish to bullish sentiment is it's now on a journey towards its previous all-time high. But when it tested, okay, it had a tiny bit of resistance, and these are weekly charts. So it came up here and touched it during this week of November 30th of 2020, okay? And then it had a week of resistance. But then look what happened. Look what happened to the price of Bitcoin. I mean, it went absolutely bananas. Okay, so it goes roughly 200% in 10 weeks, so 70 days. That's massive. That's a massive rise. Okay, and so where we are here now, just to kind of bring things back into perspective, is that we're in this week of potentially touching this previous all-time high. Okay. And who knows, right? Depends. It all depends on what's going on, like I told you, with the continuing resolution and all that. Now, let's look at the price of ADA. And what's interesting about ADA is it is not even touched, okay, its previous all-time high, which could be very exciting if you think about it, when you put some thought into this. Okay. So I already have the trend line here. You see this trend line right here? This blue line that my cursor is scanning across is the mark of Cardano's previous all-time high of about $1. Okay. And then from $1 to $1.20 was that window, that box of Cardano's all-time high, its previous all-time high. To get to its previous all-time high is this green line up here. It has not yet even eclipsed or knocked at the door of its previous all-time high. And so what you see with these altcoins, Cardano being an altcoin, is the volatility measures are so much grander than what tends to happen in Bitcoin's case, because Bitcoin's market cap right now is well over $1 trillion. Cardano's market cap right now is like almost 30 billion. It's so small. And we're going to look at references that show you exactly what I'm talking about as far as market cap. And we're going to do some calculations that if you write these things down, you're going to be able to master these calculations. Okay. And so I'm excited to share that with you. Now, let's look at November. Where did Bitcoin have its press towards its previous all-time high we just looked at? It was November of 2020. And so right now the cursor right here, the cursor is at that exact week of November, Monday, the 30th of November, 2020, right here. Now we're going to zoom in. We're not going to forget our spot. Okay, so it's right here, right? This is where Bitcoin was testing its previous all-time high, and then it had a week of resistance, and then it shot up, right? Okay. Well, this is what Cardano was doing at that time. See how it kind of had a lag and in fact even went down a little bit in value? And then what happened? Over that 70-day period, Bitcoin rose up and then had a little bit of like a double shoulder type of event where it kind of went all the way up and then sort of declined and then made an additional all-time high. And so these aren't identical, but they follow a lot of characteristics together that are advantageous to anyone who cares to pay attention. So let's do the price discovery tool and let's go ahead and shoot up. So it was about 70 days. Okay, so this is 105 days. Let's see. Okay, so let's look at where the 70-day mark was. It's going to be, okay, so this is like 77 days. It went, I think Bitcoin rose around that volume. It also went about 253%. But remember I said that there was a lag. Okay, so Bitcoin and Cardano rose about that same increase. In the upper 200%. But then what happened to Cardano following those days far outperformed Bitcoin's rise, right? It goes from there to all the way up. You're cresting into the thousands of percents and you're at about 1,800% from where Bitcoin eclipsed its previous all-time high. Okay? That's major. That's major to us followers of the Cardano ecosystem because we have yet to even knock at the door of the previous all-time high. So who knows what's in store? Who knows what's in store right now for Cardano in its growth, in its own community of growth?